One where cash-rich speculators thrived while productive businesses drowned in insurmountable debt. This led to what a prominent member of the PNP described as the largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich since slavery. Madam Speaker, who were the beneficiaries of this wealth transfer from the poor to the rich?
Well, that question is the question of the year, and it must be answered. If we are going to have a honest discussion, that question must be answered. Who benefited from the greatest transfer of resources? Rubbish, but protests. Rubbish. And the people of Jamaica must wake up. Because before Melissa, we had another hurricane in Jamaica. And that hurricane is why we have to go borrow money now. Don't get me started. Don't do it. This is why I tell you, PNP can't win no debate in Jamaica. No debate. They have not been a good government. They have not been a good government. And their relevance depends on their repentance. I'm going to say that again. The relevance of the comrades depend on a repentance. They need to be cleansed. And if PNP don't repent, they have no future in the politics. PNP hurt Jamaican people, you know. I'm going to that is why Miss Jackson is saying. Here, Miss Jackson. Hello, Miss Jackson.
Somebody send a lifeboat for the PNP now, or maybe a life buoy, or even a noodle, but send something because they need help. And this
they need help. They must repent. They must repent. Take time with them. You know, one of my callers yesterday, I take time. I don't hard with them. I tell you the truth. I don't hard with them. I don't hard with them. As a matter of fact. One of my callers yesterday said that I must, you know, well, they don't want, listen, the more they criticize is the harder we're going to get. So back off, okay? Back off, Politics Plus, because we don't start yet, you know. We don't start, we're just warming up. We can come harder than this, so be careful, okay? Don't trouble me. That's why we want the listeners to support the work that we are doing, so that we can work on the production. Production is giving us a little problem. You hear, listeners, I must tell you the truth. Production, content creating takes time and it takes resources. We're asking the listeners to support the work that we do. There are lots of content to bring to you, but it takes lots of time and it takes a lot of resources. So watch me. Go through again 1 p.m. Go through with the question. Let's back him up a little. Go ahead.
Prominent member of the PNP described as the largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich since slavery. Madam Speaker, who were the beneficiaries of this wealth transfer from the poor to the rich?
Who? Where the money there? Where Jamaican people money there? Where the Jamaican people money there? You know, listen to me. we need to stand up and ask back for we money. We need back with money. We need back with money if it's paid down with debt. We need back with money to help with people. We need back with money. They had a commission of inquiry. Come on, Jamaicans. Make we ask back for money, no? We need to arrange a protest and get out with placard and ask back for money. For money. How you go transfer wealth, the wealth from the poor to the rich? Where money there? We need it back. Put it back in our account. Them talk about coup and revolution. That's where we need the revolution. The transferring of the money from the poor to the rich. Who transfer it? And where they?
Is there anyone in this house who was a part of this ill-conceived policy, whose business it was to profit from the great transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich?
Wow. My God. Hold on there. I tell you the truth. Who that? Who that? Hold on. Don't play that. Play back that.
As a result, productive enterprises, especially small businesses, were unable to service their loans, and the loans became non-performing. Mounting non-performing loans and loan defaults then caused banks to collapse. Madam Speaker, the PNP's high interest rate policy created a two-tiered economy. One, where cash-rich speculators thrived while productive businesses drowned in insurmountable debt. This led to what a prominent member of the PNP described as the largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich since slavery. Madam Speaker, who were the beneficiaries of this wealth transfer from the poor to the rich? Is there anyone in this house who was a part of this ill-conceived policy, whose business it was to profit from the great transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich? The fallout was immense. It is estimated that over 40,000 businesses collapsed, wiping out entrepreneurs and leaving thousands destitute. This decimated the manufacturing sector in Jamaica. Burdened with high-cost debt, unable to retool to keep competitive, many factories closed during this period. We recall companies like Thermoplastic, Highgate Food Products, Home Electrics, and others too numerous to name that could not survive the inhospitable climate that FinSAC created. Madam Speaker, those who formed the government that presided over this economic debacle have never apologized or even expressed any remorse. Worse, they have the audacity to lecture this administration on how to run an economy. For the next 20 years after the PNP inflicted FinSac, the FinSac shock, we basically just meandered along as a country with no attempt to fix the real problem. Our debt situation was already unsustainable when the global financial crisis hit in 2008, 2009, and that took the country to the verge of bankruptcy. The real attempt at grappling with high debt, high interest rate, this vicious cycle created by the PNP, started with the Bruce Golding-led administration of 2007 to 2011. Indeed, we fathered the deep structural reforms needed to break the PNP-created debt crisis. The debt inherited from the PNP had reached unsustainable levels, and it was under the leadership of Bruce Golding and Audley Shaw Manayard supported by enlightened and patriotic members of the private sector and reasonable unions that the first structured debt exchange was engineered. JDX.
No, there are points to be made. There are points to be made here. Time is not going to allow me to make the point, you know. I wanted to make the point about the PNP's obfuscation. Their arguments in the Senate were disingenuous. Those young senators in the Senate on Friday were arguing things they don't know, they don't understand. I can understand that they're being partisan. They have to bat for their party. And there is not enough. There is not enough people on radio in Jamaica telling people the truth, getting people to understand the context of where we are as a country. And any criticisms leveled at this party by the opposition is rubbish, is disingenuous, is propaganda. They are largely responsible. You see all those people in Westmoreland? You see all those people in Westmoreland? Even in the Labour Party itself, sufficient of you are not speaking the truth. Sufficient of you are not helping the people to understand where we are as a country and where we are coming from. History is important. Context is important. And that is why the PNP is becoming irrelevant. That's the point I'm making now. I want to tell you that their relevance is right now in question. In question. And it's going to be hard for the PNP to make a case to be elected. It's going to be very difficult. You know the Damocles sword? The Damocles sword? It dangles over the PNP comrade's head. They're a danger. And that's why the people of Jamaica right now, all across the country, when you go across the country and you talk to people, people are saying they are happy that the Jamaica Labour Party is the government. Because somehow they fear the economic recklessness, the recklessness of the People's National Party. And you know, there are countries that there would be lawyers taking this matter to court. You know, we need some human rights lawyer to prosecute this case. We need some human rights lawyer to prosecute this case on behalf of the Jamaican people. And I hear one man talk about one by one them going to jail. We need some human rights lawyer. This has to be a matter to be taken to the court. Somebody need to test it in the court, man. A little more of that.
This pulled Jamaica from the brink of another financial collapse by successfully reducing Jamaica's interest costs, extending debt maturity, improving debt sustainability, and giving the country the credibility to approach the IMF. We put in place the fiscal responsibility framework, which enhanced transparency, accountability, and reporting on public finances and placed limits on the fiscal deficit.
That's the fiscal rules. We put it in place, the Prime Minister said, meaning his government. That's what they're asking a suspension of because of the hurricane. Remember that had it not been for Melissa, the Jamaican economy was set to grow by over 4%. I shouldn't be doing this for free, You Labour Party people listening to me. I shouldn't be doing this for you, for free. Caroline, you're going to have to talk to them for me, Okay? You shouldn't be doing this for free. 4.5%, Bridget. Yeah. Just remember that. When you talk about discussing government's performance and economy and opposition response, just remember that. Agriculture recovered by over 9%, almost 10%.
Was the basis for the fiscal rule legislation and all the other reforms we have today. We took tough steps to divest loss-making public entities such as the Sugar Company and Air Jamaica, which under the PNP racked up huge debts and operating losses carried over from the 18.5 years of poor management and lack of superintendence of public bodies. And when we were the opposition, we did our part in supporting and developing many nascent measures, including working assiduously on every piece of legislation required to meet the IMF timelines. I gave direct instructions to my members of the House and the Senate that we must not hold up any of the IMF bills. We were a responsible and constructive father, even in opposition. We acted in the interest of Jamaica's economic recovery in everything we did.
No. So then, the Prime Minister is speaking about Hurricane PNP wrecked the economy. And the opposition led by him acting responsibly, supporting bills, etc., for Jamaica's economic recovery. Do you see where I'm going? Here are we now in a similar position, but this time a natural disaster. How has the opposition acted? Think about it. His opposition, the opposition led by Holness, supported the government at the time for the recovery of Jamaica. And now Jamaica needs the support of the opposition to build back because of a natural disaster. And Mr. Golding goes to Parliament and speaks of sobriety. Sobriety. And when the government puts together a committee to oversee a committee that he called for, them say no, they're not sitting on it. Come on, comrades. The PNP is becoming irrelevant. Their stocks are down. They have lost their identity. And they are not attracting any support. And it's a problem for the democracy. But we need a strong, this opposition is, and as I said to you at the start, this view that because you have increased your seat count means you are stronger is misplaced. Because I think that the opposition today is very, very weak. Maybe even weaker than when they had only 14 seats. A doubling of your seat don't increase your strength, you know, comrades. A political party's strength lies in its ability to connect with its people. Because the people are not passive observers in Jamaica's reconstruction, you know. They're actively involved. And they're watching the opposition. And you see the emotions? The emotions have passed. And people are now judging how the opposition is responding to their welfare and rebuilding. A little more from the Prime Minister and then we go to our cause. It's 20 minutes to 7 o'clock.
We chose Jamaica over narrow political partisan gain.
That's why Holness was challenged. One of the reasons why Holness himself was challenged for leadership in the Labour Party, and I remember it quite well, I used to follow it, but there were members of the party that felt that he was too supportive of the government at the time, that he should be chucking it to Portia. He should be more aggressive. And this man, who is Prime Minister today, you hear what him just said? He chose Jamaica over narrow political party. But you see him today, 3 terms. Mark Golding could do it. Supporting the government, as Garfman said on the program the other night, does not rob the opposition of its relevance and its identity, nor of offering alternative prescriptions. It does not. But the opposition has chosen to play politics at a time of disaster, and it's going to hurt them badly. Because I've been on the ground and I've spoken to the people and I hear what they have to say. Supporters of the PNP are now saying it, that their party is letting them down. When a man don't have roof over him head, man, don't play politics. When people don't have bathroom, what I do if you do number 1 and 2, don't play politics. Jump in. If you're out at sea on a boat and it is taking in water, everybody needs to get on deck and take up something and bail out the water. Because if you don't, it's going to sink. Jump on. That's what you call patriotism. And I told you the other day about, well, let me not get into the Bertha issue.
No one on this side said that the PNP did not contribute to the national effort to restructure and reform the economy and bring down the debt. As recently as November last year at the launch of our Next Chapter policy pivot, I said, and I quote, "Let me express my deepest gratitude to all who played a role in this transformation. Leaders from both sides of the political aisle, business leaders, our civil service, unions, members of civil society, and most importantly, the people of Jamaica. I want to specially recognize and thank the Honorable Bruce Golding, former Prime Minister. The Most Honorable Portia Simpson Miller, former Prime Minister. The member, you know, Madam Speaker. Yeah, Madam Speaker. There's a running joke between myself and the member from East Kingston and Port Royal. You know, he is her adopted first son, and I am her adopted and reclaimed second son. You remember I was disowned for a little period of time. But the member from East Kingston and Port Royal know that we made up. So it was very easy for me, with no malice or ill feeling or ill will, to acknowledge the work and contribution of the Most Honorable Portia Simpson Miller. The Honorable Peter Phillips, former leader of the opposition and Minister of Finance. The Honorable Audley Manayard Shaw, former Minister of Finance. Nigel Clark, former Minister of Finance. Richard Biles, Governor of the Bank of Jamaica and former Chairman of the Economic Policy Oversight Committee, EPOC. Keith Duncan, who took over as Chairman of EPOC after Mr. Biles.
All right. We're gonna pick this up back tomorrow. Well, I could go a little longer with it because there's another point I wish to make. Caroline, maybe I should go to the calls now. Yeah, let's see if we can pick up a few people and yep.
Neighbor, could you continue with the presentation for now, please?
Okay, great.
Okay.
All the members, and I'm eternally and always grateful to all the members of the National Partnership Council. But most of all, I want to thank the people of Jamaica for their patience, resilience, courage, and sacrifice. Jamaica's turnaround would have been impossible without the willingness of the Jamaican people to endure the hardships that they had to bear. This is my public statement for the public record as to how we on this side characterize this period of economic recovery. So this falsehood and attempt at whitewashing history, this kind of revisionism, is unnecessary, indeed undignified. Let me give a fair and balanced characterization of the historical development of the Jamaican economy. The PNP, through bad policy decisions, created the second debt crisis. They created the first one as well. The JLP took the first fundamental steps to address the problem. The PNP contributed and built on those steps, and the JLP further built on those steps and completed the reforms. While we acknowledge the work of the PNP in the national effort across administrations, any political credit they should get for contributing to the solution is totally wiped out because they are the ones whose bad policy caused the problem in the first place. To their true bipolar nature, the PNP wants to claim paternity after causing the mother, the people, so much hardship. In their last budget presentation, the leader of the opposition and the opposition spokesman on finance disingenuously accused the government of increasing taxes on the people of Jamaica. In this budget presentation, well, in the last budget presentation, the leader of the opposition said, since the JLP government came into office, they have more than doubled the annual tax take, increasing it by a massive $190,000 per person. Yet, in his recent budget presentation this year, the leader of the opposition and the opposition spokesman on finance both claim that the improved performance of tax revenue is due to the tax reform work of the PNP. So we need to ask ourselves, is it the PNP that is responsible for Jamaicans paying more taxes? In the 2023 budget, the leader of the opposition complained that the government was moving too fast to reduce debt. He advocated that we abandon the fiscal responsible path, use $40 billion, in other words, go and party with the rent money. Money that we're supposed to use for debt repayment, to spend on temporary relief. In this budget, when he sees the amazing benefit of reducing the debt to 68% and the amazing fiscal space that is created for us to actually now sustainably deal with the relief effort, he now comes claiming that the reduction in debt is due to the PNP's faithfulness to fiscal prudence. This reminds me of the classic tale of what we in Jamaica sometimes regretfully call Butler's father, who caused the mother so much pain and then abandons the child. But when the child grows up to be successful, out of the blue they turn up to claim paternity and associate with success. This leader of the opposition is a man of convenience, flip-flopping between prudence.
Wow. The leader of the opposition is a man of convenience. He's a flip-flopper.
And popularity when it suits him. 1 minute he disowns the child of fiscal discipline, and then the next he claims the child of fiscal discipline. The mother remembers the pain of FinSac and the high interest rate policy, the largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich, and she knows that she cannot trust this worthless man. So the DNA test was done. The DNA test was done. The results are in. When it comes to 15-year-old fiscal discipline, PNP, you are not the father. Yes, your name call, but it is another Goling that is the father. Madam Speaker, jokes aside, Madam Speaker, jokes aside, this is the first time our debt to GDP ratio is below pre-FinSAC levels of the mid-1990s. It has therefore taken us 30 years to undo the damage of the self-inflicted blow of the PNP's economic mismanagement of the 90s. 30 years. Madam Speaker, the graph now being displayed shows interest costs as a percentage of tax revenues in the mid-1990s during the FinSAC period. Interest costs as a percentage of tax revenues climbed rapidly, peaking at nearly 70% in the midst of the global financial crisis between 2008 to 2009, and it peaked again to about 71% and started to decline thereafter. The successful 2010 Jamaica debt exchange to 30.5% in 2016 when this administration took the reins of government. And as of this budget, very important, Madam Speaker, as of this budget, Mr. Speaker rather, only 18.7% of tax revenues will go towards paying interest on debt. Mr. Speaker, this shows why we must always maintain fiscal discipline. From having to pay 71% of tax revenues to having now paid down the debt, we only are going to be paying 18.7%. We have all of that fiscal.
Correct. I think I'm going to take those little PNP senators in the parliament to school. They don't know what they're talking about when they're talking about fiscal rules and all of that. Anyway. We have a little time. We have a little time. Hello?
Real, genuine, compassionate, energetical, spiritual love.
Hello, Adams. Hi. Time for the calls. Let's go. 4 to 7. Come, sir, we're running out of time. Come on. Top of the night to you. Hi, how you doing? Did you sell? Jay? Hi. Not there? Hello, sir. War against misinformation. Good evening. Hello. Hello. DPT, good evening to you, sir. Hello? Tappers, they're tappers. Hello? Hello, Reality Facts. Good night.
I don't know how I get up in the box. Can you take me down? I'm just here listening and tapping the screen.
416 one side. Good evening. I tell you. Good evening, caller. Hello? Hello? Gary Higgins, good evening to you.
Jesus.
Mabel, hi. Anyway, I think that these people are tappers, eh? Mabel, Booth, hi. Hello? Mary Booth? No. Not there. Nerves getting the better. No, the nervous guys. Good evening, sir. Dr. Plummer, good evening. Dr. Plummer, good evening. No? Wow. Hi. Hello? Hello, Clive? Hello, Clive? Have a fantastic Sunday afternoon, everybody.
When